stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Caricom yet to take position on U.S. military action in the Caribbean. Receipt raises questions over cricket board-linked funds. GCB responds to funding controversy. Legal action underway over the lack of a chairman and vice chairman in Region 10. And Dr. Rupert Roopnarine laid to rest. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, March 2, 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Caricom is exercising caution amid mounting questions over recent United States military operations in the Caribbean. Regional leaders say no position has been taken as investigations continue. The issue was addressed during the closing of the Caricom Heads of Government meeting. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
During the closing media conference of the 50th regular meeting of Caricom Heads of Government, Dr. Terence Drew, chairman of the Caribbean Community Caricom and Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, was asked whether the regional bloc supported or endorsed recent United States military action targeting alleged drug smugglers operating in the Caribbean. Dr. Drew indicated that Caricom's position is still under review. He emphasized Caricom's commitment to international legal norms, stating that any action taken must be consistent with established international law and due process protections.
Caricom stand on principle to make sure that anything that is done, this or anything, has to follow a particular international laws.
Dr. Drew noted that thorough investigations are required to ensure an accurate understanding of recent events in the Caribbean Sea.
And so getting all of that information, it would ensure that the response given can be a complete and comprehensive response with respect to that.
He stressed that Caricom respects all international laws and that member states such as St. Lucia and others are currently gathering detailed information to facilitate a more complete assessment of the situation.
Caricom, by principle, respect laws and all international laws. And for a more complete, which just recently took place, I'm sure that St. Lucia, and I know that St. Lucia and other countries that are being questioned have been going through the various investigations, gathering of information to give a more complete and succinct conversation with respect to the matter.
In recent months, the United States has carried out a series of military strikes against vessels in the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific that it claims were being used for drug trafficking. The U.S. Southern Command has described the campaign as part of its efforts to disrupt narcotics trafficking networks. These actions, described by Washington as strikes against narco-terrorists, are said to have killed at least 151 people across numerous operations since September 2025, drawing significant scrutiny and legal questions about their compliance with international law and the protection of civilians. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
As Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sharon Roopnarine faced intense cross-examination over her handling of extradition documents for opposition leader Extradition Mohammed and his father Nazar Mohammed. Defense attorneys are alleging political interference and an unusually rapid processing of the request from the United States. More in this report. Permanent Secretary Sharon Roopnarine remains under sustained questioning as the defense sought to challenge the ministry's procedures in receiving and forwarding the extradition request for Extradition and Nazar Mohammed. Attorney Sayan Dujon suggested to the court that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs departed from established protocols when handling the bundle of documents seeking the Mohammed's extradition. He further implied that the speed with which the documents were processed raises serious concerns.
Those arguments go to the heart and soul of our case, and we've never one day wavered in the argument and the submission that these extradition proceedings are politically motivated, and they have no other proper motivation.
But Roopnarine stood firm. She testified that in accordance with established procedures, extradition requests are received through the Office of the Permanent Secretary. Once received, the next step in the process is that she is authorized to forward the request to the Minister of Home Affairs for further action. She rejected any suggestion that she did what was irregular.
Something as important as extradition documents ought to follow one consistent process, one protocol. These protocols ought to be set out in the very least in writing even. What the witness has come today to tell us is that the protocols aren't in writing. Somebody told her word of mouth, and it's carried on by word of mouth, almost like an old wives' tale.
The Mohammed's legal team is attempting to demonstrate that their client's extradition request was acted upon with what they describe as breakneck speed, in contrast to other extradition matters that reportedly took far longer to advance.
We have evidence that in other extradition cases, the chain of custody of these documents is completely different. It does not go from embassy to PS to minister. There is another method by which it has to be dispatched.
The hearing is expected to continue on March 12, 2026, when Roopnarine will return to the witness box for further cross-examination. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Thousands of Guyanese are set to move one step closer to owning their homes as the Ministry of Housing prepares to roll out agreements of sale and title processing across several new housing schemes. Tiana Cole is on this story.
Many citizens will soon be closer to home ownership as the Ministry of Housing moves ahead with agreements of sale and title processing in 7 new housing schemes areas over the next 2 months. The update was provided by Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing. Minister Crowell explained that signings are already being scheduled, with hundreds of beneficiaries expected to begin the process in Lusignan Phase 2.
Over the next few weeks, we have a number of signings that will be taking place. So, for example, on the 7th and the 14th, for Lusignan Phase 2, we have initiated for 500 persons who will be coming in to sign their agreement of sale, as well for commencement of the process for the certificate of title.
He added that similar activity will take place at Good Hope Phase 2, particularly in the eastern section of the community, where approximately 300 persons are expected to receive their notifications.
And then we also have on the 19th, the 21st, and the 24th, Vriesland in Wales, that's on the west bank of Demerara. So Vriesland, as well as Laurentier Katrina in Wales, part of the Wales development. We have a number of persons who will be able to start the signing for the agreement of sale for their lot.
The housing minister stressed that within the next 2.5 months, more than 3,000 individuals across 7 new housing schemes are expected to sign agreements of sale.
The investment in these 7 areas alone that I identified, that is number 75, number 76 Village Berbice, Lusignan Phase 1, Lusignan Phase 2, Good Hope Phase 2, Vriesland, as well as Laurentina Katrina. We have investment in those areas of over $38.5 billion to make it accessible for the persons to be able to access their land.
The initiative forms a part of the government overall plan to expand the access to affordable housing to citizens by accelerating land ownership across the country. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
We finance everything with Courts Ready Finance, from educational expenses and those unplanned emergencies. Get it done with financing through Courts Ready Finance. All you need to apply is a valid ID, proof of income, proof of address, and 2 references. Get quick approval and flexible monthly installments, plus credit protection insurance. Apply in store or online at courts.com. Courts Ready Finance. Ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover offers solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rolf Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Rolf Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. The Guyana Cricket Board has responded to claims that funds linked to the organization were used in a disputed private commercial transaction now before the court. The allegation surfaced in ongoing civil proceedings involving businessman Doreen Bess that has triggered questions about the source and authorization of certain payments. Here's what we know at this hour. A financial receipt tendered in court has drawn attention after it appeared to show that funds connected to a civil dispute involving businessman and chairman of VPAC Doreen Bess were sourced from an account associated with the Guyana Cricket Board. The document, which forms part of the court record, references a transfer of $250,000 United States dollars dated February 5, 2016, reportedly executed through Scotiabank. The transaction is said to have involved Cricket Guyana Incorporated and Petrotrin, a Trinidad-based oil company, and bears a signature attributed to A. Kaladin. The issue arose during legal proceedings in which questions were raised about whether institutional funds connected to the cricket administration were deployed in a private commercial venture and under whose authority such a transaction may have occurred. The legal characterization of the funds, including whether they constituted a loan, investment, or other arrangement, remains an issue yet to be fully ventilated before the court. In response to the claims by Nightly News, the current executive of the Guyana Cricket Board issued a statement seeking to clarify what they describe as missing context. The board emphasized that the transaction referenced in court dates back to 2016, several years prior to the election of the current administration on March 30, 2021, under the Guyana Cricket Administration Act. The board further stated that the transfer in question reportedly originated from a private company, Cricket Guyana Inc., and not from the statutory cricket board as currently constituted. Additionally, the board underscored that since assuming office in 2021, it has operated under strict financial governance, including the preparation and submission of audited financial statements to the National Sports Commission, a mandate that is part and parcel of its affiliation process with the Guyana Olympic Association. The current executives have also distanced themselves from former office holders named in the matter, stating unequivocally that those individuals have no connection or affiliation with the present board. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Antonio Day reports now that the We Invest in Nationhood plans to contest all local authority areas in the upcoming local government elections and will be seeking legal recourse regarding the non-appointments of chairman and vice chairman in Region 10.
WIN will be contesting will be participating in local government election when it's called, and it's our intention to contest in all the local authority areas.
That was Duarte Hicksberger, member of the We Invest in Nationhood, making this disclosure over the weekend at his party's press conference held at Serenity Court, Providence, East Bank, Demerara. He emphasized that the party is actively engaging with regional representatives to field quote-unquote organic candidates, underscoring that candidate selection must occur at the community level.
We've had discussions with our regional representatives, and they are in the process of putting together their candidates. The decision should be made at that level in the true spirit of local democracy. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be engaging with them personally to see where they're at, but preparations are being made at the moment.
On the other hand, WIN has reiterated its intention to approach the High Court to remove the 3 election commissioners aligned with their Partnership for National Unity, APNU. The political party, which has 16 seats in the parliament, continues to argue that the current composition of the Guyana Elections Commission does not reflect the emergence of a new main opposition party, which warrants proper representation on the 7-member commission. Tabitha Sarbo-Halley, WIN's executive member and opposition chief whip, outlined the party's ongoing legal consultations concerning the makeup of GCOM. She highlighted the critical issue of ensuring fair representation in the election oversight body, especially given the political shifts since the last general and regional elections. The party is also mulling legal recourse for the non-appointment of a chairman and vice chairman at Region 10.
Region 10 will have to have a new tender board, regional tender board, and it should be comprised of nominees of the new chairman. But we don't have that new chairman as yet. We are in discussion on the way forward to resolve that particular issue. And if court is it, then it will be court.
Sarbo-Halley responded by acknowledging that some issues can typically be resolved without resorting to legal measures. However, she emphasized that the situation in Region 10 has become prolonged and dysfunctional, linking it to a headless animal, despite the fact that budgets have already been approved.
We were hoping that good sense would be prevailed by now, that yes, people were upset with the shift that has happened, that shift has occurred, and people have to get accustomed to this as a new reality.
Antonio Lee reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Guyana Public Service Credit Union is celebrating its 62nd anniversary today. In keeping with its celebration, a church service was held and a jingle was created. Marvin Cato reports.
It is no small token that the word cooperatives form part of our national name. Your credit union is perhaps the largest and most vibrant cooperative in this country.
That was Christopher Thompson, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Public Service Credit Union, delivering a special anniversary message to members as the organization proudly celebrates its 62nd anniversary today. Formed in 1964 and established after a 90-day strike to help workers manage debt and promote thrift, the GPS CCU has seen tremendous growth over the years.
As part of the series of activities that we engaged this year to celebrate our 62nd year was a church service. The pastor of that service would have mentioned that the credit union exists to serve its members.
The credit union has over the years evolved into one of the country's richest credit unions, focusing on sustainability and members' welfare. In an ever-changing environment, the organization embarked on a digital transformation drive in April 2024. They launched a digital platform for online banking, enabling real-time access to accounts, loan payments, and e-statements. A renewed focus was placed on modernizing its operations and increasing efficiency for its member. In commemoration of its 62nd anniversary service to its members, in addition to a church service, a jingle was created for this special occasion, marking decades of service to the people of Guyana.
For 62 years, we stood together strong. Through trials and triumphs, we carried on. Built on trust with unity, our guide. Serving our people with hope and pride.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Marvin, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Need to open a bank account? There's no time to make the drive to stand in line. Get ready. Opening an account with Republic On Board is easy from anywhere at any time, even while waiting for a food order. So you don't have to skip lunch. Republic On Board. Fast, easy, secure. Visit www.republiconboard.com to open your account today.
Celebrate with us at Courts. We have what you need at the biggest season sale. Save with great deals and huge savings on select items store-wide. Get unbeatable values on TVs, new arrivals in furniture. Save on select bedroom sets, large appliances, free gifts, and much more. Shop now, pay later. Get huge savings this season, only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offers end February 28, 2026. Conditions apply.
Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. Dr. Rupert Roopnarine, a towering figure in Guyana's intellectual and political landscape, was laid to rest on Sunday at the Memorial Gardens in Georgetown. Antonio Day will tell you more.
Dr. Rupert Roopnarine, a towering figure in Guyana's intellectual and political landscape, passed away on February 23, 2026, at the age of 83. Dr. Roopnarine's funeral at Memorial Gardens in Georgetown was a gathering of diverse voices that demonstrated and reflected his national impact on the Guyanese community. He was cremated at the Le Repentir Cemetery, concluding a remarkable journey in scholarship and activism. An esteemed Guyanese intellectual, he gained international recognition for his work in comparative literature and analysis of Martin Carter's poetry. As a former lecturer at the University of Guyana, he influenced generations of students and contributed significantly to cultural discourse. Notably, he co-created the influential documentary Terror and the Time, which chronicled Ghana's anti-colonial struggle, capturing the spirit of resistance against oppression. His literary works, such as The Sky's Wild Noise and Web of October, showcase his commitment to confronting authoritarianism and ethnic division with intellectual rigor. Dr. Roopnarine was an executive member of the Working People's Alliance, WPA, and was very active in politics during the 70s. In 2011, he was a prime ministerial candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, the year he entered parliament. During his tenure, he was responsible for agriculture and natural resources, and was widely respected for his principled and measured approach. Tributes from leaders across the political spectrum, including President Irfan Ali and colleagues like Raphael Trotman and David Hines, lauded his moral clarity and courage during times of political repression, as well as his pivotal role in shaping the APNU coalition. The funeral service was a hard blend of solemnity and cultural celebration, reflecting Dr. Roopnarine's lifelong devotion to the arts. Traditional tasso drumming, steel pan music, and poetry readings filled the ceremony, underscoring the integral role of his culture in life and work. Family members offer emotional tributes, highlighting his intellectual capacity, humility, and unwavering dedication to his loved ones. As the rhythms of drums and pans echoed, mourners not only commemorated a political leader, but also honored a patriot whose legacy is defined by scholarship, service, and an enduring pursuit of justice. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The EMC Foundation officially launched the Saxacali Rainforest Activity Book during a simple ceremony at the Saxacali Rainforest Center located on the left bank of the Essequibo River. Marvin Cato will tell you more.
A leader doesn't always look like the president. It doesn't always look like a minister. It looks like you, that you're 6 years old, you're 11 years old.
The keynote address for the Saxacali Rainforest Activity Book, which was launched last Friday, was delivered by Sonia Parag, Minister of Education. The publication, developed by the nonprofit arm of Environmental Management Consultants, EMC, represents a significant private sector contribution to the environmental literacy in Guyana. Addressing the pupils and learners of the Saxacali primary and nursery schools directly, Parag praised the initiative for empowering students to become, quote-unquote, agents of change.
If you try to follow the rules in school, you're a leader. If you try to bring about change that is positive, you're a leader. So all of you can be leaders.
She emphasized that while Guyana undergoes a rapid economic transformation, the country's true wealth remains its biodiversity and its people, stating, quote-unquote, when we are protecting our country and preserving our environment, we are protecting our wealth and our own self. Guyana is positioning itself as a global champion for ecotourism protection. Friday's launch also touched on the Foundation's environmental STEM program, eSTEM, which encourages students to use modern technology, such as camera traps and digital applications, to study the flora and fauna unique to the Essequibo region. Meanwhile, Sham Nocta, Managing Director of EMC, highlighted his 20-year history with the Saxacali community, commending the leadership of Tushao Helen Williams and local educators for maintaining a balance between development and conservation. He reminded that central to this mission is a strategic partnership with the Ministry of Education to establish and support environmental clubs in primary and secondary schools nationwide. He emphasized that these clubs allow teachers and students to work directly with the Foundation to implement the eSTEM curriculum, providing a quote-unquote learn by doing framework that turns the rainforest into a living laboratory. The EMC Foundation continues to support these clubs through the Rainforest Center, ensuring that the next generation of citizens and scientists are equipped to manage and protect Guyana's rich environmental credentials. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors like a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. It's citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Guyana, it's the Colors Mash sale. Get 10% to 50% off all brands store-wide. Ladies and gents clothing now 5% to 20% off. And don't miss 35% off Skechers while stocks last. Prices slashed, racks loaded, sizes moving fast. Run to Colors today and save big before it done.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. An earthquake with a magnitude of 4.6 was felt in sections of Jamaica at 8:34 a.m. on Sunday. According to the earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, Mono campus, the tremor was located approximately 10 kilometers northeast of Stony Hill in St. Andrew. The quake had a focal depth of 16 kilometers and was reportedly felt in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and other sections of the island. Persons on social media also reported feeling the tremor in Clarendon and St. Mary. There were no immediate reports of any damage or injuries. The earthquake unit has invited members of the public who felt the tremor to submit reports through its online portal. The latest event follows a magnitude 5.6 earthquake that was felt across sections of the eastern Jamaica on February 10. According to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, the island may record up to 200 felt earthquakes in a single year, though most are minor. In January, the earthquake unit reported more than 400 earthquakes in and around Jamaica during 2025, including several that were felt across multiple parishes. Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado said she plans to return to the country in the coming weeks. According to a message posted on our social media accounts, Machado, a 58-year-old industrial engineer, left Venezuela in December to receive the award and is currently in the United States. Speculation around Machado's return has been prevalent since the U.S. captured former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro on January 3. Machado is under investigation in Venezuela, and interim President Delcy Rodriguez has said she would have to answer to Venezuela for her support of U.S. military action against Caracas. And now for some international news. Thousands more flights were cancelled on Monday as the turmoil in global air travel caused by the U.S.-Israel war on Iran continued, with hundreds of thousands of passengers already stranded. Gulf airports and airlines have suspended all operations until at least 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Airline and travel share prices fell sharply after days of disruption, with Donald Trump indicating that the U.S. military action could last another 4 weeks. Some carriers and travel firms are offering refunds or free changes to those due to travel in the coming weeks. Major Middle Eastern airports, including Dubai, the world's busiest international hub, closed for a third consecutive day amid the most acute aviation shock since the COVID pandemic paralyzed the industry. Flights across the Middle East have been cancelled, disrupting thousands of services so far as international carriers continue to suspend their services. By 10 a.m., at least 1,555 flights to the Middle East had been cancelled, although it warned that the figures were artificially low owing to limited data coming from Iran and the United Arab Emirates, where hundreds more flights were scheduled on Monday. The U.S.-Israeli air war against Iran expanded on Monday with no end in sight. Israel attacking Lebanon in response to strikes by Hezbollah, while Iran fired missiles and drones at Israel, Gulf states, and a British air base in faraway Cyprus. The U.S. military said Kuwait's air defenses had mistakenly shot down 3 American F-115E fighter jets during an Iranian attack. All 6 crew members ejected and were safely recovered. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps announced a new wave of strikes against Israel later on Monday, after a weekend of bombing that killed Iran's supreme leader, dragged its neighbors into war, and shut shipping traffic in the Gulf. Markets opened on Monday with energy prices rising sharply, putting a global economic recovery at risk. In the biggest U.S. foreign policy gamble in decades, President Donald Trump launched a campaign alongside Israel against a foe that had tormented the United States and its allies for generations. Trump repeated his calls on Iranians to rise up and overthrow their leaders, and said that air campaign could last weeks. Within Iran, where residents have jammed highways to flee cities as bombs fell, there was uncertainty about the future and emotion ranging from apprehension to euphoria. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Let's join Delvin Neblet for HGP's Sports Buzz.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delvin Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Buzz for today, Monday, March 2nd, 2026. We begin tonight with athletics. 18-year-old Atalia Hingsun has once again asserted her dominance as the fastest Guyanese female over 60 meters. Representing the Louisiana State University at the 2026 SEC Championships in Texas, the freshman Hingsun surpassed her own national and South American records with a scorching time of 7.16 seconds to secure a third-place finish in the women's 60-meter final. Moving into football, action took place in the 2026 CONCACAF Women's World Cup qualifiers, with Guyana taking on Dominica at the National Track and Field Centre in Lenora on Friday. The Lady Jags treated the home fans to a heartwarming performance as they delivered an emphatic 3-0 victory. Otisha Charles opened the scoring with power and precision, followed by a leaping finish from Adelina Ricci. Sandra Johnson's skill and pace was too much for the defenders as she produced the final nail in Dominica's coffin. Guyana's next fixture in the 2026 CONCACAF Women's World Cup qualifiers will be against Antigua and Barbuda at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua on Thursday. More in football action took place in the Ghana Football Federation's 2026 Elite League Cup, with Slingers FC taking on Manetolas FC at the National Training Centre in Providence on Saturday. Delwyn Fraser produced Manetolas' solitary goal as Slingers secured a dominant 7-1 victory. Darron Niles, Rashawn Rich and Kimar Beckford each netted brilliant doubles as Curtis Kalman scored once in a winning effort. Moving into cricket, action took place in the second of 3 T20 internationals between the West Indies women and Sri Lanka at the National Cricket Stadium in St. George's, Grenada on Sunday. Batting first, Captain Hayley Matthews top scored with 28 as the Windies were bowled out for 101 in exactly 20 overs. Sri Lanka then reached 102 for 6 in 18.1 overs on the back of 39 from player of the match Shamari Athapattu, who also picked up 2 for 13 in a winning effort. The 4-wicket victory now gives Sri Lanka a 1-0 lead heading into the third and final T20 international on Tuesday, after the first T20 international ended in a no result on Saturday. Finally, in cricket, action took place in the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup, with the West Indies taking on India at Eden Gardens in Calcutta on Sunday. Despite a valiant effort to reach 195 for 4 of their allotment of 20 overs, the Windies suffered a tournament-ending defeat, losing by 5 wickets as India reached 199 in 19.2 overs. Player of the match Sanju Samson remained unbeaten on 97 as both Jason Holder and Shamar Joseph picked up 2 wickets in a losing effort. India are now through to the semi-final stage of the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup and will go up against England at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai on Thursday. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
Caricom yet to take position on U.S. military action in the Caribbean. Receipt raises questions over cricket board-linked funds. GCB responds to funding controversy. Legal action underway over the lack of a chairman and vice chairman in Region 10. Win to contest local government elections 2026 in all areas. And Dr. Rupert Roopnarine laid to rest. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.